Hey guys, I'm Harman, and I'm gonna talk about designer steroids, mostly Madol. What are designer steroids? Anabolic steroids have been studied since the 1940s. Of these steroids, only a few have been introduced to the pharmaceutical market. The World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, has continued the work of the IOC, banning the use of these agents within sports. Athletes, however, continue to use anabolic steroids. In order to evade detection, athletes have resorted to the use of a far more dangerous form of drug, designer steroids. These steroids are manufactured to closely resemble existing known compounds, but with sufficient diversity to ensure detection by WADA is more difficult. Many such drugs are being made in clandestine ways, as shown in the Balco case in 2003, where an unknown steroid, Madol, was detected by the WADA using mass spectrometry. Today, I'm mainly focusing on the points as shown. What is Madol? Its synthesis, its binding affinity, its anabolic and androgenic potency, how it works, and its side effects. What is Madol? Madol, desoxymethyltestosterone, also known as DMT, is a potent synthetic oral anabolic steroid. It was one of the first designer steroids to be discreetly marketed to pro athletes and bodybuilders. Madol can be seen as a close relative to methyltestosterone, another anabolic steroid. The property that differentiates Madol from other testosterone derivatives is that structurally it is a 2-ene compound and lacks the 3-keto group. According to standard assays performed on laboratory animals, Madol surpasses methyltestosterone in efficacy by more than 12 times. Therefore, DMT is significantly stronger, milligram for milligram, than methyltestosterone. And clearly, you don't need a prescription. What makes up Madol? Its chemical formula is C20H32O. Its molecular weight is 288 and it's 40% bioavailable. 17-alpha methyl 5-alpha andros 2-ene 17-beta-ol, the chemical name of Madol, or DMT. Madol, a testosterone derivative and cousin to methyltestosterone, has undergone three significant modifications. These include the addition of a methyl group at carbon 17 alpha for safe liver passage, the addition of a double bond, and the removal of a 3-keto group. Synthesis of Madol. How is DMT synthesized? Madol was synthesized by Grignard methylation of 5-alpha andros 2-ene 17-one. 100 milligrams of this compound was dissolved in 5 milliliters anhydrous diethyl ether. 45 milliliters of this solution was then added dropwise into 1.8 milligrams of methyl magnesium bromide, and the reaction mixture was allowed to reflux for 8 hours. The reaction flask was then placed in an ice bath. 10 milliliters of 6 molar aqueous ammonium chloride was then added dropwise into the mixture. The organic layer was then dried over sodium sulfate prior to evaporation under a steam of nitrogen. The residue was then resuspended in methanol to facilitate Madol purification by reverse phase HPLC. Using deuterium labeled methyl magnesium iodide, under the same reaction conditions, a deuterated analog of Madol with D317 methyl group was synthesized. The signals in the orphanic proton region remain unchanged compared to those of Madol. This further confirms the proposed structure of Madol. Trideutylated methyl Madol was synthesized using the same method, using trideutylated methyl magnesium iodide. The binding affinity of Madol. The interaction of most ligands with their binding sites can be characterized in terms of a binding affinity. Binding of a steroid hormone to its receptor is an important step in initiating its action. Therefore, the binding affinity of DMT to the androgenic and the progesterone receptors was determined. The table and the graph provided roughly show the binding affinity of Madol to the AR and the PR. To investigate the anabolic and androgenic potency of DMT in comparison to TP, testosterone propionate, orchidectomized rats were treated with 1 milligram per kilogram body weight of DMT and TP every day for 12 days. Non-treated orchidectomized rats served as reference groups. The tissue weights of the prostate, seminal vesicle, the heart, and levator ani muscle were determined. Treatment with TP resulted in a stimulation of prostate, seminal vesicle, and levator ani muscle, indicating androgenic and anabolic properties. Administration of DMT only stimulated the weight of the levator ani muscle, indicating higher anabolic potency of Madol. How does Madol work? Madol is basically just another anabolic steroid, and therefore works in a similar fashion. Madol and other anabolic steroids increase the rate of protein synthesis within cells. This building of cellular tissue, known as anabolism, is especially noticeable in muscles. Anabolic steroids change muscle mass and strength by two processes. First, the steroids lead to an increased production of proteins. The steroids also block the effect of the hormone cortisol on muscle tissue so that existing muscle is broken down at a much slower rate. Additionally, anabolic steroids lead to cells differentiating into muscles more readily than fat. And finally, the side effects. As you can see, the use of Madol carries with it numerous side effects. Estrogenic side effects. DMT is not aromatized in the body and is not known to be measurably estrogenic. Since estrogen is the usual culprit with water retention, this steroid instead tends to produce a lean quality physique for most users. Although some users report estrogen-related effects such as development of breasts, known as gynecomastia. Although DMT is an anabolic steroid, androgenic side effects can occur. These may include bouts of oily skin and acne. Higher doses are more likely to cause these effects. Male pattern hair loss can also occur due to the use of this steroid. Side effects concerning women are the deepening of voice, menstrual irregularities, changes in skin texture, and facial hair growth. DMT is a C17 alpha alkylated compound. This alteration protects the drug from deactivation by the liver, allowing a very high percentage of the drug to enter the bloodstream. This C17 steroid can be hepatotoxic. Prolonged exposure could result in liver damage, and in rare instances, threatening dysfunctions can occur. Anabolic steroids such as Madol can have detrimental effects on serum cholesterol. This includes decreasing HDL, good cholesterol levels, and increasing LDL, bad cholesterol levels. The shift in this balance could potentially lead to arteriosclerosis. This steroid may also adversely affect BP and triglycerides and support left ventricle hypertrophy, all increasing the risk of CVDs and myocardial infarctions. All anabolic androgenic steroids, when taken in doses, are expected to suppress endogenous testosterone production. Also, prolonged hypogonadotropic hypogonadism can develop secondary to the steroids abuse. While the above slides were all observations, the conclusion is say maybe to steroids. Thank you.